Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Andy with True North,
And I'm Albert with Clever Key Consulting Group.
and we're here today to talk about the silent killer of performance, disengaged leadership.
Well, let me tell you a story about when I was a CFO for a company not too long ago. I was hired to really elevate the accounting and finance operation of that organization, but I inherited some not so great things. A team of poor performing employees, technology and software was not up to par. They really didn't have great policies and procedures. So I ended up working a lot, 7 days a week, maybe 12, 14 hours a day because the work was manual and it really needed to be overhauled. But the leaders didn't allow me to replace any of the staff, and they didn't allow me to put in new software and technology. So after a while, I just kind of didn't like being there, and I wasn't really giving it my all because why would I? So I just kind of checked out. So, Dr. Andy, how does disengaged leadership sabotage team performance and profitability?
It's a great question. I think it's important to understand the scope of this problem. Gallup did a survey that they showed recently that indicated that 77% of people in the workforce are disengaged. When we get to the leadership level, it gets slightly better at about 70%. That leads on a global perspective about almost a $9 trillion a year economic impact, which is almost 9% of the GDP. As far as the effect specifically for leadership, culture really is a top-down phenomena largely. And so when you have leaders that are disengaged, they often go from being checked out to burnt out to need to be being moved out. And each step of that phase becomes increasingly more expensive. And so really when you see this, it's a massive issue across the globe, certainly in the US. And again, those leaders, when you have employees that are seeing their bosses that are checked out, that they're not willing to put in the same work that they're requiring, it really becomes contagious, and it will significantly sabotage and undermine the productivity, creativity, and overall performance and profitability of the company.
So, what are some simple, powerful steps to re engage leadership, energy, and engagement?
Yeah, I think fundamentally it's an alignment issue. So you think about this through the lens of rowing a boat, and you got all employees have an oar in the water. If you've ever been on a boat and you've got people that are rowing in opposite or contradictory directions, it tends to cause chaos, often has you spinning around in circles. People are putting in effort, but eventually they realize they're not getting anywhere, and it starts to lead to them to stop putting in the effort, and eventually they get burnt out. But when you have everybody that's now rowing in the clear same direction, and they know why they're rowing in it, and hopefully they're rowing towards something meaningful, now all of a sudden you have a formula for something really amazing and magical. I think that really stems from a company first needing to get really clear on their true north direction. What direction are they going in? The culture of the organization. And that has to be true to who the leaders are and the lived reality of the employees within the workspace. Once they've done that, it's important to make sure that people they're hiring or bringing on, that there's a good fit. There's some process in place to make sure that they're bringing in employees that are aligned. Gallup has showed that employees that feel connected to the culture of the companies they work for, you see a 400% increase in engagement, a significant decrease in burnout and turnover, and then all of a sudden you got to have a process to keep people engaged. That doesn't happen by accident or by chance. It requires intentionality and strategy.
Great, thanks for telling me that. I think I got a couple takeaways. Number one, this problem is way bigger than I thought, and it costs companies across the globe a lot of money. And the second thing I've got out of it is it really starts with alignment and getting everyone aligned. I think those are the takeaways that I got.
What would be a great idea is if we could take a deeper dive into that process that starts with disengagement, then leads to burnout, goes into absenteeism, and eventually ends up with turnover.
Oh, we can certainly do that. How about we do that next time?
Awesome, that sounds great. In the meantime, if you've got any comments, you've got any questions or ideas of things that Albert and I could discuss in a future video, please comment below and we'll do our best to make sure we get to it in a future episode.
We'll see you on the next one.
Thanks for checking in.